Unity just published the Gaming Report for 2022. It has insights from 2021 and predictive insights for this year and beyond. I'll be doing a breakdown from the Unity blog post that goes into some specific insights from this report. If you'd like the full 40-page report, I'll put a link in the description for you to download because it's free to anyone. The first point is that publishers are releasing more games than ever. The production slump of the pandemic's early phase is now far behind us, as the numbers of both developers and games have grown throughout the industry. Based on the data in the chart, we've observed that there were almost twice as many games made with Unity in 2021 than in 2020. What's more, the number of creators using Unity increased by 31% in the last year. So if we look at the individual data pieces of the chart, there's about 23% of total developers released one more game. Around 12% had an increase of two more games. 9% increased by 3, around 4% increased by 4, roughly 3% increased by 5, and what looks like 13% increased by 6 or more. There was a 1% amount of developers that showed a decrease. So the sum of the developers represented here comes to 65%, which leaves a remaining 35%. The remaining 35% is yet to be defined. I do not see it here in the report. I can only guess that it means that this amount of publishers stayed consistent with the releases of games in the last year. The pandemic spike in game revenue is here to stay. With fewer entertainment options over the last 2 years, players have spent more money on games than ever before. In-app purchases, or IAP for short, which measures the players' spending within games, has increased significantly since 2020 and can be seen in the chart. Throughout the pandemic, in-app purchase revenues have been flat in China, Japan, and Korea, while revenue rose in Americas, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, or otherwise known as EMEA, and Asia Pacific, otherwise known as APAC. While this data shows revenue growth that can be attributed to player activity, it also hints at the fact that the implementation of in-app purchases can be successful as long as it does not disrupt player experience. Ad revenue is growing in Americas and EMEA. Ad revenue for mobile titles also grew as more players joined in. As the chart shows, the increase in mobile ad revenue was almost entirely driven by Americas, but there was also a substantial increase in EMEA. Some developers may worry that ads push players out of their games since people might follow ad links and not return to the games. But ads, especially those that offer in-game rewards, can actually raise user retention, a trend that has consistently been documented in Unity research. So in this case, if you're playing a mobile game and you come across an ad that asks you to watch the entire thing, and by doing so, you'll get rewarded with, say, in-game currency or some kind of asset in the game that you could use to your benefit, that's what this is referring to. Different genres of games are finding different audiences and monetization strategies, but casual games are leading the way. Targeted monetization strategies can work for any game category, but this past year, we observed more significant growth in genres like hyper-casual, casual, action, adventure, and sports games. Although nearly all genres saw in-app purchases and ad revenue grow in 2021, as this chart shows, total revenue growth was up the most in puzzle, card, adventure, casual, and hyper-casual games. Action, role-playing, and arcade game revenue grew the least. Different genres make money in different ways, as shown in the chart. In genres like hyper-casual and word games, ad revenue plays a significant role. In other categories of games like RPGs, we've observed that in-app purchases drive revenue. Developers are tearing down the walled gardens around platforms with an explosion in multi-platform reach. With multi-platform development, game makers are tearing down the walled gardens that previously separated players in different devices. For those raised on the schoolyard debates over which consoles were better, the importance of platform loyalty appears to be waning. We expect to see all forms of multi-platform game development continue to grow as the chart above shows. So looking at this all the way back to 2014, we had maybe around what looks like 16, 17 or so multi-platform games released that year. And that's only 8 years ago, right? And so the majority of those were PC. And then if we go up to 2021, now we're starting to see a much more uniform distribution across all consoles and mobile, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Almost all evenly distributed, except for the obvious cases of Nintendo Switch and mobile, which is no surprise because those, of course, don't have the same type of performance capabilities as the next-gen consoles do, or memory allocation. So it makes it quite challenging for those to have multi-platform to play the same games on PlayStation 5 as Switch or mobile. Diversifying your game portfolio can have a big impact. A growing number of third-party services and data analytics tools have given developers and studios of all sizes the ability to compete at the highest level and publish more games in different genres, which can have a significant positive financial impact. Publishers that diversify make more money. Developers that publish 3 or more styles of games have daily revenue of 119% higher than developers that publish only 2 kinds, which in turn have 78% more revenue than those that publish only 1. That's roughly a 197% jump from single genre publishers to those that publish 3 or more. To accomplish this, indie developers have access to better tools than they ever have before, and many of them need those tools to compete and make more games. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what other content you'd like to see on this channel. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.